Hello, my name is Garrett Maxon. We're with dragonscripting.com. Today we're going to be going over the stop instruction. It is used primarily for most for stopping, but it's primarily used for when you're creating a command. If it's a long command that you want to have something in there that will stop the command for a second, it's kind of like a pause button more than it is a stop, but it stops the command where it's at, and then you're allowed to resume it. This stop instruction is part of our fundamentals package and the playlist that we have on YouTube. So let's go ahead and get into it. For this, we used a for next loop to just kind of show what's going on. It could be used in many different things. But again, this is not to be used if we call this command. Let's just take this part out of here and see what it does. So we take this out, you can see that it's going to run for I is equal to -1, and then from -1 to 10, we'll just make this 0 for fun. 0 to 10. So this is going to run 10 times. It's going to tell us 10 times what's going on. We have a video on for next loops as well, but basically this is going to run from 0 to 10, and this is going to call the next interval, adding 1 to I. And then after that it hits 10, then it's going to go ahead and give us a message box here at the end, like the doors. Alright, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's going to run the loop. So, and then this is the end. So what we're going to have in here is that we can say that that's a functional command. That's doing everything we want it to do. Now, let's say we're making it more complicated, and we have 80 lines, 150 lines of command here, and or lines of script in this command, and we want to know where we're at, or we want it to run a certain amount, and we're using it again through play, not through calling it, not through voice controls, but through actually playing it through here, testing it, and having it do something else. So if it does that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to test the command out in here and press play, and we go 1, 2, and then when it gets to 3, it's going to stop, and this line's going to light up, and it's going to say pause down here. And that means that the command is paused right now. Again, we can't do this through voice control because you won't be able to see the pause and you wouldn't be able to resume it. But while here, you can, if it's stopped, we can read any of the messages that will be up here. No, let's go ahead and stop this, and I'll go debug.print I. Okay, so now we can see it being printed to 0. So it's being printed up here, 1, 2, 3, and then we can have any kind of messages that we have. That's that debug print is doing that. It's writing this in the console. And then we can stop, and we can see what is going on with the command, what notes that we're giving to ourselves at this point, see where it is inside of the full command. If it's long, again, this is primarily for debugging something or for creating it. And we can basically tell it to stop, and then once we see where it's at, when we want to keep going, we just press play, and it'll go on to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then it'll go to this is the end. So basically, there's stop and then there's end. End will actually just completely end out the command. 1, 2, 3, and then it'll end. And that's the difference. Is end will stop it, will completely end the command. It won't be able to do anything after that. Whereas stop will give you a nice little pause while you're writing the command to figure out what's going on, and then go ahead and then move on to the next step and go back and make your changes at that point. Again, only useful while creating or writing it inside of the command browser or the command editor. Not useful as a voice command. You can leave it in there. It'll just move past it. So if we call it example of stop instruction, it'll just go 0, 1, 2, 3, and it'll stop. So kind of like an end at the same time. Is that it won't go to this next one, it'll stop it where it's at. So you have to be careful. Don't leave those inside the command, otherwise your command won't work. So it may not be that useful. Be careful with it. You may not know why it's your command's not working and it's because you left a stop in there. But might as well tell you what it is, what it does. So thank you very much for watching. Please give us some feedback on this, or like. Let us know what you think. The website's dragonscripting.com. We have more tutorial videos and more commands that are on there. A lot more full commands. Full videos. There's also a mailing list on there as well if you'd like to keep up to date with what's going on. You have yourself a good day.